Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to break down how to defeat the Cavalier event quest boss, American Chavez. Now, some of the nodes, she becomes below 30% health, she becomes supercharged, she's more aggressive, so she'll throw heavy attacks more, which you'll see is important. When she throws heavy attacks, if you counter the defender's heavy attack, you'll remove protection charges, which build up over time. And then she has cornered, so as long as you have a debuff, damaging over time debuff on her, she'll gain more power. Now, the supercharge just makes her different dimensions more potent, and when she throws a heavy attack, she cycles between her different dimensions. And you can see these are the dimensions here. It decreases potency of opponents' buffs, reflect damage back to you, so you'll want to avoid the dark dimension or bring a champion that can reflect the damage back like Namor, or you just want to wait out that dimension until it expires. And then negative zone reduces opponent's ability power gain rate by 60%, and then each time she gets an additional one, the potency of the new ones are reduced slightly. So here's her heavy attack. You can see her first hit of the heavy attack activates that first one on the right. The next hit of the heavy attack switches off of it to the next one. The third one switches to that final one, negative zone, and that's where we interrupt it. So that is the one that she triggers. Now again, we interrupt her with it on the dark energy one, or the dark dimension one, sorry, and now every hit against her would be dealing damage back to us. And now specifically watch those protection buffs. We're interrupting her heavy attack, and that removes all of those stacks. Now let's take a look at the special attacks. The first special attack is the easiest to evade. It's a couple close range hits and then a slam down, but with Tigra you can just phase it. But here's the timing. It's a dash forward and then it jump up, and then that slam down. Right when she slams the ground, you just want to dex back. Now the special 2 is a bit more challenging to evade, but if you're using Tigra and you're skilled with her, you can just phase the hits of that special 2 as well. Now the special 2 Dex is pretty challenging, but as soon as you see her push forward into the stars, you want to Dex back twice as fast as possible. So again, here we see as soon as she pushes into the stars, you start your first Dex, and then you Dex again immediately after. And now we're going to slow it down and take another look. She pulls backwards, puts the stars up. As soon as she pushes in, you start your Dex and do it twice in a row. And it can be challenging to get down, so you might want to just focus on baiting out the special 1. Now, as far as champion choice, most science champions will do nicely, but remember, anyone with damage over time is going to give her a ton of power gain, and so you want to avoid that, or at least be aware of that. So Tigra is a decent option if you are skilled with her, because you can phase the special attacks, and if you're very aggressive, you can keep neutralized up, keep your buffs up, and allow you some extra damage. So here we played very aggressive at the start, and I think we accidentally blocked this first hit of that special 1, but now we're going back in. We still have our auras active, and I'm trying to push up to a special 2 before they expire, because the first ones from the awaken ability are short. So now we get to our special 2 and throw that off and get some decent damage, but we didn't have any ruptures active at the time. And now she's going to throw a special 2, and I mess up the timing here on releasing my heavy attack, so I ended up getting countered. So I'm going to try to focus more on the special 1s, because those are much more easy to phase and counter with, and it'll allow me to stack up more ruptures. So here's the special 1. I start charging heavy and then release it after she finishes that animation. Now Dr. Doom is another reasonable option because of the power control. However, because of the shock debuff that you place on the opponent, she's going to gain a lot of power if you do place that shock debuff, but you can work around it. Now ideally you want to avoid her throwing heavy attacks, because then she won't activate her dimensions, and if she activates the dark dimension that puts damage back against you, it can really complicate the fight a little bit here. Now the special 2 I wasn't really controlling very well, and then I made some big mistakes. Now she activated the negative zone, which is not too challenging to deal with. It doesn't really affect too much. You'll just be getting less power, so that's one of the good ones for her to land on. Now Human Torch is a fantastic option. This is without the pre-fight, but this is going to allow her to have a lot of power gain, so it'll be more difficult to manage her special attacks. And here we have the dark dimension now activated, and so you'll see when we attack into her, we're going to be taking damage back, and the damage can add up significantly throughout the fight, especially if you have multiple of those dimensions activated at the same time. Now if you apply the pre-fight, you won't have to worry about the damaging debuffs giving her the cornered ability, and so you won't be dealing with a lot of power gain. So the Human Torch pre-fight makes this fight much more easy, especially because of all the damage that you'll be dealing when she throws her special attacks with those power stings active. Another champion that I have used but don't have a video of is Captain America Infinity War. He's just a very solid champion, and if you don't throw your special one, you won't have any damaging debuffs on her, and therefore she won't have the cornered effect either. And then lastly, I just wanted to highlight the damage back node. If you get that dimension activated, especially more than one, the damage really adds up, and you can see Dr. Doom here just really kills himself pretty quickly when she's got two, I think now, two of those damage back ones active, and we lost a lot of health just with a single combo. So I really hope that this quick breakdown was helpful. Let me know what champions you've been using or that you plan to use, and I hope to see you in the next video.